All righty. Dave, I thank you for your call. Let's go to Thomas in Georgia. Hello, Thomas.
Hey, John, how are you doing? I really have been for many months on end. I look forward to Tuesdays so I can hear you, Robbie, and Bob Chapman. And I want to say something to Bob. He is way more chill, relaxed, and jokes around. And, you guys have fun on this format as opposed to when he's a guest on other shows. And I really do enjoy that aspect of Bob.
Well, and I think, Bob, I never asked you this question, but we have you on, I think this is the longest program that you do, 2 hours a week. And if we had not injected a little bit of humor, and, well, we all know each other. We've learned each other's ways pretty well over the last, 4 years. But it's a little bit more relaxed, and I like it that way.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, who says bad news can't be fun, huh?
Exactly. I guess, the thing that I've been looking at, I read George Uhr's column, his Urban Survival Daily Updates every day, and I've been, looking at the WebBot project that Cliff High does for, a few years now. This oil thing appears to be a lot bigger than what you'll generally, I don't watch TV, so I don't know what Fox News and all that crap tells me, but
they had live pictures today.
Yeah, the mainstream media is really downplaying this oil, the chemical crap, that core exit that the BP is using as a disbursement, which is evidently a lot more toxic than the oil is itself. If the whole Gulf of Mexico, which it appears to me is in the process of being completely destroyed, what is that going to mean for our country? Not just the world, but for, our country, in a revolution. Things are already, the economy is already more or less tanked and done. We're just going through the motions.
Well,
I just want to know what you guys' take is on this. George Uhr, he's been talking about it quite a bit every day, and it really is scary. And to think, I read reports, about possible evacuations, and just, what this means.
Yeah. Guys?
Well, any kind of dislocation, unfortunately, is very good for gold and silver because it feeds on problems, gold being the ultimate currency or money. And I think these people in Washington and New York City are well aware of this, and that's why they continue to suppress, because they don't want people to think that there's a problem out there. Of course, there's a problem, but people are so susceptible to propaganda, we'll say half the population, that they just keep on playing the same game against the public. And I quite frankly think this was a false flag operation.
I'm beginning
There's no reason to happen what happened.
Well, but I've looked at it as well, Bob, and there have been people that have suggested that this is going to serve higher purposes. But I don't know. As I look at this situation, I think BP, they took shortcuts. Transocean argued, and that's a matter of record now, they were telling them, hey, look, this ain't looking real good. BP was pushing them to get the well into production. Having said all that, they were right on the ragged edge of the new technology of this deep drilling. Not only going a mile down to the bottom of the Gulf, but then you're going tens of thousands of feet down into the Earth's crust. Everything had to be letter perfect, and hopefully nothing goofed, but there were systems that weren't brought up online, systems for emergency purposes that weren't workable, and I think it was more of a matter of greed. Let's get the stuff going, and, safety regards be damned. I don't see any grand conspiracy here. I just see the greedy oil people once again do what they do best. Screw up and make a hell of a lot of money.
Regardless of whether it was a false flag or it's just greed accident or whatever, this is turning out to be pretty huge.
It is.
This, to me, is probably the biggest event since 9/11.
Well, I would have a suggestion.
Not to be that way.
Yeah, I'd have a suggestion for people. Don't go to Dead Lobster and order the shrimp. You know, I'm not going to be eating shrimp for quite some time.
I say it was a North Korean submarine.
Yeah, the North Koreans did it.
It's just sad to see.
It is.
All these events building up, and it's just, I just keep wondering, where is it going to end? I know where it's going to end.
Tom, here's the real tragedy. The real tragedy is that the oil rights were bought by British Petroleum. You know, that little Gull Island thing that's got enough oil up there to power this country for the next 200 years?
Yeah.
Plus, we've got the Bakkens, or whatever they're calling that field in Montana. Huge, bigger than what Saudi Arabia ever thought about having before they dipped their little drinking straws into the sand over there to pull oil out. But what I'm saying here is that, there is no reason for BP, and who's got the contracts and the oil that they were bringing up? Was it to be sold to U.S. markets? But BP's sitting on our salvation up there on Alaska, and why ARCO sold the rights over to BP is beyond me. But, what are we going to have to do here?
It's like Dutch Royal Shells, owned by Queen Beatrix primarily.
Yeah.
And I believe BP is probably primarily owned by the House of Windsor, Saxe,
Rothschilds,
whatever you want to call them, Rothschild. I mean, it's definitely linked to devious people that don't have our interests.
Well, no.
Any way, shape, or form.
Well, somewhere down the line, we get benefit off of it after overpaying for their service and crossing our fingers that they don't screw it up. This is going to make the Exxon Valdez look like a little, tanning lotion exercise on the beach. Whoops. Yeah, we're already 45 seconds into a bumper that we shouldn't be in. They always sidetrack me during the breaks.
Where is that special?
That's what I was just going to say, Bob.
Robbie's evading it.
I know.
Get it while you can.
Get it while it's hot. The Bob Chapman steal of the day.
20 franc Swiss Helvetia, minted between 1897 and 1930, contains 0.1867 ounces of pure gold. Another company out there that shall remain unnamed.
Gold line?
Sells it for $475, but we don't charge you that here.
Let me guess.
Okay.
$260.
$275.
$275.
I was going to say that.
Gold's over $1,200, unfortunately.
But Gold Line sells that for $400.
$475.
Isn't that disgraceful?
What the hell's wrong with these people? How do they sleep with themselves at night?
Well, they're going to bring regulation, and that's what's going to take. And I've known the guy that runs Gold Line for 45 years.
Yep.
Well,
I don't know what he's thinking about.
Well, he's got to pay for Glenn Beck.
Oh, little old Glenn.
Do you know that Glenn Beck, in the last couple of months, has lost 50% of his viewing audience?
Not that.
Really?
Yeah.
He doesn't care. He's got a guaranteed contract.
I know. So he can run it the rest of the way.
John, what do you think? Why is that?
Well, I think Glenn Beck, it's like anything else in this country. When somebody pops up with a bright little face and they look like the spring flower and they're all fresh and bubbly and they're different, I think people pay attention for a while. Then after they figure out that, wait a minute, this guy's loony. I mean, he'll contradict. Give him enough time, he contradicts everything that he says.
Well, I have gone on programs where they have status rating during the same time frame, and he and Savage and Hannity and O'Reilly and Limbaugh, I've gone up against them, and I beat all of them, and occasionally I come in second. And so, these guys get paid a lot of money.
Well, I don't know what's happened to his radio show, but his television show definitely has lost half of its viewership. So, but we got to get this the rest of the way out of him. Otherwise, it might slip away and it's never recoverable. Kind of like that oil going into the Gulf. Robbie, what's the rest of that deal?
$275 a piece if you order 20 or more, which comes to $5,500. You will receive a 1-year free subscription to the International Forecaster and a fine ceramic mug courtesy of RBN.
And these are beautiful, uncirculated.
Well, let me give you the bad news.
Oh, the bad news?
Only got 150 of them.
Oh.
Well, you didn't let me finish gussying it up here. They're brilliant uncirculated, beautiful uncirculated. In other words, folks, what that means, it's a higher value coin that you can sell for less. You pay a tad bit premium over AU, but AU a lot of times is not even recognizable as to what the thing is. It's just a sales receipt that tells you what it might be. But these are brilliant uncirculated coins, okay? They were never put in circulation for the public. Yeah, they might have a few nicks and maybe a few scratches on them, but that, I mean, if you were minted back in 1890, whatever, how would you look by now? But at any rate.
No, if you want to buy them all, it'll cost $41,250.